Hello and welcome. I am so happy we are back in person dinner with others that share my admiration for what Popcares does. They say when you are nervous to speak in front of people, to picture the audience naked. Well, I know a few of you personally, and I'm not so sure that I want to do that. So I'm going to imagine something else. So if you see me staring at your wine glass, just know that I'm imagining myself sipping on wine and relaxing after this is over, because public speaking is something that terrifies me. Some of my family have traveled from out of state to be here, and some are still recovering from their own battles. To all of my friends who I consider family, now I want to thank you for your love and support, and want to thank you all for being here to support me this evening. I want to thank Popcares for bringing our community together and creating a space for me to share my journey. In all honesty, I struggled when I was going to speak about, but that's because I'm still struggling with my multiple myeloma. People break something, it gets fixed. You get a cold and you take medicine. But cancer never really is that simple. It's complex, it's almost an entire life, second life we live during an already complicated one. It's also a second life that all of my family and friends are helping me live as well. I recently went to a country artist concert whose tour was named Beautifully Broken, and that really resonated with me. I know people will say you are not broken, but this is reality, and this journey often leaves you feeling broken. But broken isn't all that bad. We heal as humans after we are broken. The Japanese have an art called kintsukuroi, where they take broken pottery and fill in the cracks with gold. As a philosophy, it treats breakage and repair as a part of the history of an object, rather than something to disguise, reinforcing the fact that there is beauty in broken things. About 9 years ago, Popcares asked me to speak and share my story. And while it was an honor then, it is even more of an honor now to be asked to speak again. As I reread what I wrote, it's hard to believe that it was just the beginning. I had already been through so much: diagnosis, testing, having a beautiful child, stem cell transplant, and yet little did I know there would be so much more. Since I first spoke, I have relapsed. Now let me take that back. My cancer has relapsed twice. I've been through 2 separate rounds of radiation, 2 new chemo regimes, and will be possibly starting my 3rd round of radiation in the next few weeks. People often speak about their experiences as if they aren't too bad and everything is okay. I have a close friend of mine who was recently asked to give a speech. She chose to speak about the ugly truth, and I found that very admirable. My story is long and not pretty, like many others in this room. About 3 years ago, while lying in bed, I was writing reflection after a doctor's visit, and I think it spoke to how cancer is never linear, and often the battle continues long after the initial diagnosis and treatment. I wrote, "Over the last 8 years, I have tried very hard not to let cancer define me. I can think of only a few times that I looked in the mirror and thought to myself, you really do have cancer and it shows. The first time was 12 years ago when the high doses of steroids led me to pack on the pounds while I was pregnant. I was blessed with huge tiger stretch marks across my stomach, which I call my tiger stripes, that I still carry with me today, and is a daily reminder when I look at myself in the mirror as I get out of the shower. The second was when I had lost my hair during my bone marrow transplant. Even though I was told I had a perfectly round head and I was beautifully bald, it changed me. The third time was today. I had a court placed to help administer the chemo I will continue to receive for the next 4 months. I know this is the best course of action, and my poor little veins in my arms are thanking me. But as I stand in front of the mirror today, heavier yet again from the steroids, tired from the chemo cocktail, and now a foreign object sticking out of my chest, all I see is a cancer patient, sad, broken, defeated. I know this day and feeling will pass, as it always does. I also know it will come again someday as I continue to battle incurable cancer. At some point I will again push cancer aside, continuing to let it be a part of my life, but not who I am. But for today I see someone battling incurable cancer, and it sucks, and that is my ugly truth. Last time I spoke, I had quoted a post on Facebook my husband Nick had made after we received a donation from Popcares. Tonight, I would like to acknowledge that I am 41, and this has, well, I don't acknowledge that, and this has only been 12 years of my life. So I'm still sort of new at all this. But for my beautiful daughter, Jordan, this has been her whole 12 years of life. Last year, she had a writing assignment for school, and she chose to write about Popcares, which I will share with you now. Popcares is a group of people that donate money to cancer patients like my mom. My mom has been going through a lot of hard times, and then Popcares gave her a card. The card brightened her day. Popcares helped our family a lot. I know hundreds of people receiving these cards, and sometimes the cards more than the money. My dad knew what Popcares did for my mom, and then my dad started to help raise money for Popcares. My dad now grows a mustache and makes silly videos. He puts them online in November. He named his mustache Mo, and it now calls November Movember. I've been helping in some of the videos too. I was the Mo Randa Lambert, and my dad was Morgan Wallen. I ate spaghetti yesterday at the end of the video. I enjoyed being in the videos because I think I'm helping Popcares and people like my mom. I love what Popcares does for our community. For her to understand what Popcares does for the community speaks volumes to their organization in general. Often it's hard to see and remember your accomplishments and strength as you go through treatment, but somehow Popcares always knows when you need a little pick-me-up and a reminder that you are never alone in this journey. For my family that isn't local and feels helpless at times, it is a comforting reminder to them that I am supported and my family is taken care of. People ask, what keeps you going? And I always responded, friends and family and community support, because that's what I thought they wanted to hear. And yes, that's all very true, but in reality, it's ugly crying with friends and family. It is dark humor just to bring levity to something sometimes uncomprehending reality. I am too stubborn to let cancer defeat me. I'm too stubborn to allow cancer to take away memories that should be made. I'm too stubborn to let cancer define who I am. I've met incredible people during this journey, and we all have a few things in common. The first is the unfortunate diagnosis of cancer. Second, we are all fighting battles most people can't see. And third, the most important thing we have in common is the support from Popcares. So if you take one thing away from my speech today, it's to remember how you felt, who you met, the stories you may have heard, and share that with the others that aren't here. Remember to tell them that this night we all came together as one for Popcares. We came here as a community, as individuals, as families, as people affected by cancer, whose journeys are all made easier by the support we have from Popcares. I had never heard of Popcares the day I received the first card. They were there for us during our worst times, and they gave me a platform to express my feelings in front of all of you today. Each and every fundraiser they do will make a difference in someone's life, and our raised here stays here is their motto. Again, I'm so glad we are back to the in-person dinner with others that share my admiration for what Popcares does. Please enjoy the rest of your beautiful evening. Raise those paddles during the auctions. Buy the raffle tickets if you can. Your contributions will greatly help someone in our community that is in the fight for their lives. Thank you for listening to my journey, and thanks again to Popcares for everything they have done for my family over the years. Thank you.